Hi, I'm Navid Ansari, and in this I'm going to show you how you can animate the stuff in Blender and import it in Unreal Engine 5. So without any further ado, let's begin. Before we start, I want to thank my Patreon supporter. They helped me create all these videos about Unreal Engine 5. And if you want to help me and you like these kind of videos, please hit that like button. It helps me a lot. So what we are going to do, we create some object in Blender, and I'm going to show you how you can rig it and animate it and export it to Unreal Engine 5, right? So in here you can see we have some object in our scene. We don't need them. Hit A on your keyboard and hit delete, and it will delete everything. So it will be more like a Blender lesson. Of course, we are not 3D model designer, but most of us in the developer, we should know how to use Blender or Maya or 3D Max. And mostly we know one of them, right? So if you know Blender, you already know how you can do all kind of these stuff. And I want to show you from scratch. So let's begin. First of all, for adding an object, you can go to add, mesh, and add something. But I'm gonna go and use shortcut Shift A to add something. Go to mesh, and this time I want to use cylinder. Okay, I don't want to change anything. I'm gonna hit 1 on my numpad, and it will go to this view. I think it's left view, or I don't know. You can see the X is this side, Z is in this side, and Y we are looking toward the Y axis, right? With middle mouse we can rotate everything again, and with holding Shift and middle mouse we can go around, right? Now that I'm selecting this, hit S on your keyboard, you can change the size of your object. And if you hit Z on your keyboard, you can change the size on Z axis. Okay, for example, like this. And if you hit G on your keyboard, you can move it around. And if you hit Z on your keyboard, you can change the position of that toward the Z axis. So let's just go up and put it in here. Just remember, the 0, 0 point in Blender will be the pivot point in Unreal Engine 5, right? Hit 1 again on numpad, and we can see our cylinder, right? I don't want to change the name. I want to add some vertices to it, because if you go to edit mode, you can see there is not a lot of vertices in here. If you want to rig it, it won't do a good job for us because it doesn't have enough vertices. And for adding those, you can go here, click on loop cut, or use Control R, and you can see this line in here. With middle mouse, we can increase that like this, and you can see we can position it, but right click, it will put it on the center, right? Now we have a lot of vertices to create animation for, right? Again, go back here to object mode, hit 1 so you can see it along the Y axis, okay? Hold Shift and bring it in center, okay? And now hold Shift and hit A, or just go to add and add an armature. It did add an armature, and you can see the armature over here, but if you want to see it clearly, just go to this boy in here, go to viewport display, just make sure that you select in armature. After that, click in front, and you can see it in front of whatever that is in front of it, right? Again, hit 1 on our numpad, and now we can select our armature and go to edit mode again. I want to select the end position in here, hit G to grab it, and hit Z to bring it up in Z axis like this. And again, hit E to extrude, and hit Z to create another bone, and again hit E, Z to extrude, and you can see it is already. I did create a full video about just rigging a character. We rig a full character, okay? So if you don't know about how rigging works in Blender to Unreal Engine 5, just watch that video. This video is just about animations, right? So now we create our bones. Let's just go back again to object mode. In here, first of all, hold Shift, select the mesh. Okay, you can select it over here as well. And after that, click on the bones. And now you can see both of them are selected. Now hold Control and hit P on your keyboard and tell it to connect it to our armature. Connect this static mesh to our armature with automatic weight, okay? And now that we have done that, you can see that our cylinder now is a child of this armature. It's not the child of, but it's showing it this way. What actually we have done, it automatically creates some vertex group for each bones, and you can see it here clearly, right? Now in cylinder, if you click on it and go to here and select weight mode, okay, and select your vertex group, if you go here, click on here, and you can see all the vertex group. If you click on it, you can see the bone number 0 in here. It will affect this red part. It won't affect these blue parts. So if we change the position of this bone, this part will be affected more. And if you click on bone number 1, and you can see where it will be affected. Okay, bone 2, and you can see it automatically waited for us, right? Everything is cool. No, let's just again go back to object mode and click on our armature. I want to change its name to root because this is important for Unreal Engine 5. You should change the name of this armature to root. You can see this armature is not important, but this bone 1 and bone 2 is important. Note that we have this. If we click on our root again, and in here go to pose mode, we can change the pose like this. Right click on whatever bone you want, hit R for example to rotate it, and you can see it rotated, right? So let me uncheck this so you can see it clearly. It works fine, right? But I want to show you how you can animate it. Control Z to bring it back like this. And now we are gonna go to here. Okay, click in here and change it to dope sheet. And this is where we wanna animate our simple object. Right now there is no animation, but if you go here in dope sheet, click on it and go to action editor, you can animate it in here. First of all, click on this new, and it will create a new animation for us, and you can see it in here, animation. Okay, whatever animation we add, it will be here, right? So I want to change its name to idle, for example. Okay, so this is the idle animation for this cylinder, right? So for animating this, we can first of all select everything with hitting A on our keyboard. It will select everything, and hit I, or just go to pose in animation and insert keyframe. Okay, but I don't want to do that like this. Hit I, and it will tell you what type you want to use. I always use location, rotation, and scale because I want to have keyframe for just those. Okay, click in here, and it will add a keyframe in here. You can see it, right? And now in frame 15, for example, I want to change the position of these bones. So for example, I want to rotate these this way, I want to rotate these this way, and I want to rotate this way. Okay, and know that we change the position of these bones. Again, hit A on your keyboard to select everything, hit I to insert the keyframe, and select the location, rotation, and scale. Okay, and now you can see it did animate it, right? And in frame 30, we wanted to go back, and we can just do it like this, rotate it like this, bring it back to default like this. It's not good. We can just do it like this, but we can hit A again on our keyboard, select this, right click, copy it, and paste it on this frame. Okay, and you can see it will go to here, and after some frame it will get back. Again, we want to go to left as well, so let's just do that as well. On frame 45, I wanted to go this way, so select this, R to rotate, select this one, R to rotate, select this one, R to rotate, and now hit A on your keyboard, hit I to insert the keyframe, and now you can see it do it like this, right? And at frame 16, we want it to be at the initial position, so again right click, copy this, paste it in here, and now we have a simple animation, right? We can hit the space, and now you can see we animated, right? So we create our animation and we call it idle. Let's just go to pipeline. If you don't know about this pipeline, it's a add-on from Unreal Engine 5 developers that we can use it to export from Blender to Unreal Engine 5 fast and easy. Okay, so in here, first of all, you should know that you should put everything in export. So let's just put everything in export, and now because everything in the export collection in here, let's just go back to object mode and go to pipeline, export, and send to Unreal. Okay, now let's just go to Unreal, and you can see it create a skeleton for us, it create a physical asset, and it will create a skeletal mesh with some animation, and you can see we have our animation. So for example, we want to add more animation to this Blender object. Okay, so let me show you how you can do that. So for example, this time we have just a idle animation, right? So let's just collapse everything in here. We just have an idle animation, and we want to add another one. How we can do that? We can just click on this new action. Okay, create new action, and I want to call it jump, for example, right? I'm not a animator, I'm not expert as and in animating stuff, so this is just some easy things to do, right? And now click on root again, go to pose mode because we want to create our own animation, and this time is for jump, right? Hit A on your keyboard. You can see there are some keyframe in here because we just copy it from there. Let's just delete it. Now you can see the idle is here and the jump doesn't have any keyframe, right? So let's just create that jump animation. First of all, on frame 0, hit A, select all the bones, hit I and add a keyframe at the frame number 0, and at the frame number 30 we want to add another keyframe, so at the end it will be on the ground, right? So at the frame number 15, let's just add some animation. For example, we want to grab this and bring it up a little bit like this, okay? And we can change the scale of this as well. So for example, let's just scale it up like this, okay? It's not beautiful. So hit A on your keyboard to select everything and hit I, and this time we want to just change the scale, but let's just use location, rotation, and scale. Click on it, and now we have that animation. Let me show you. The jump is like this, right? It's not beautiful, but I know you can do a better job with characters, okay? There is a lot of way to create animation in Unreal Engine 5, and we will get there, but there are some steps to do to show you all those steps to create animation in Unreal Engine 5. So we have this animation, and we want to export it to Unreal Engine 5. We have the jump animation, and we have the idle animation, okay? You can see it, right? Now that we have our animation, let's just click in here and go to pipeline and send to Unreal. Now in Unreal, you can see we have two animation. One of them is for jumping, and you can see it, right? It's not beautiful. It's not beautiful at all. And all the skeleton animation, physical asset, and all of that. So that way we create some animation. We create jump animation and we create idle animation, okay? Jump and idle. And that was it, guys, for this video. I think it's enough for Blender because I'm not an expert in Blender, and I'm learning some stuff on YouTube. And in the future videos, we will just talk about all the features on Unreal Engine 5, because it has a lot of tools to create animation, to manipulate animation, and create a lot of cool stuff in just Unreal Engine 5. So that was it, guys, for this video. Please, if you want to help me, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's my honor to have you here. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.